Welcome back to the channel where we explore the hidden treasures in your pocket change. Rarest coins. Today's episode is going to blow your mind. We're talking about one of the most iconic and widely recognized coins in American history, the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial Washington quarter. Most people think of it as just another commemorative quarter. Maybe you even remember seeing them in circulation, or maybe you have one sitting in a drawer right now. But what if I told you that one of these quarters has reportedly sold for an absolutely staggering $1.90 million? Yes, you heard that right, a quarter. 25 cents. Almost $2 million. So what makes this coin so valuable? What should you be looking for? And how can you tell if the bicentennial quarter in your collection is worth a life-changing amount of money? Stick around, because we're diving deep into the history, design, rarity, and collector demand behind the 1776 to 1976 quarter. Let's get started with the background. Why the 1776 to 1976 quarter exists. Let's start with a bit of history. In 1976, the United States celebrated the 200th anniversary of American independence. To mark the occasion, the U.S. Mint issued special bicentennial coins for the quarter, half dollar, and dollar, all with dual dates, 1776, 1976. This was a big deal. For the first time in U.S. history, circulating coins featured commemorative designs that broke from the traditional imagery. The idea was to honor the spirit of American freedom and the journey of the nation from revolution to modern democracy. For the quarter, the U.S. Mint held a design competition, and the winning design came from Jack L. H.R., who created the reverse side of the coin, the famous image of a colonial drummer boy with a torch surrounded by 13 stars, symbolizing the original 13 colonies. Dual dates. Why? 1776, 1976? The 1776 to 1976 on the coin doesn't mean the coin was made in 1776. Of course, quarters didn't exist yet. Instead, the dual date honors both the year of American independence and the bicentennial celebration 2 centuries later. All quarters struck in 1975 and 1976 carried the 1776 to 1976 date. There are no quarters dated 1975. So if you've got one with that dual date, it's one of those commemorative bicentennial quarters. Types of bicentennial quarters. Now, this is where things get interesting. There are a few different types of bicentennial quarters, and each one has a different level of rarity and value. Point 1. Clad circulating coins. These were made of copper nickel and released into general circulation. Hundreds of millions were minted, so they're very common. Most of them are only worth face value unless they're in uncirculated condition or have an error. Point 2. Proof coins. These were specially made for collectors, with extra shiny finishes and sharper details. Some were made in clad composition, while others were struck in 40% silver. Point 3. 40% silver bicentennial quarters. Now here's where things get more valuable. The U.S. Mint also produced limited numbers of 40% silver bicentennial quarters. These were only available in collector sets and never released into general circulation. If you've got one of these, you're already ahead of the game. Point 4. Error coins. As with all coins, some bicentennial quarters left the mint with unusual flaws: double strikes, off-center strikes, wrong planchets, and other mint errors. These are the coins that collectors pay big money for, especially when they're in high-grade condition. At the $1.90 million quarter. What makes it so valuable? So how does one of these quarters end up selling for $1.90 million? According to reports from the numismatic community, this ultra-rare bicentennial quarter was struck on a 90% silver planchet, likely a mint error in perfect mint state condition, possibly graded MS 69 or even MS 70, authenticated and graded by a top-tier grading service like PCGS, and most importantly, completely unique. This coin wasn't just a well-preserved collector's item. It was a one-of-a-kind mistake, struck using the wrong metal composition and released in flawless condition. That combination of rarity, historical significance, and condition pushed it to nearly $2 million at auction. And here's the kicker. This coin could have easily been spent like any regular quarter. It could have been passed through hands hundreds of times without anyone noticing. That's why checking your change isn't just fun. It could be extremely profitable. Other high-value bicentennial coins. And if you don't find the exact $1.9 million version, there are still other bicentennial quarters worth serious money. Here are a few examples. A 40% silver-proof bicentennial quarter graded PR 70 has sold for over $4,000. A clad bicentennial quarter with a dramatic double die error has sold for more than $3,000. An off-center strike bicentennial quarter graded in high mint state condition can fetch $2,000 or more. These coins are out there, in collections, in coin rolls, and maybe even in your spare change. How to identify a valuable bicentennial quarter. Here's what to look for if you think you have a rare or valuable 1776 to 1976 quarter. 1. Check the edge. Silver quarters have a solid silver-colored edge. Clad coins show a copper core along the edge point. 2. Look for errors. Examine the coin for any signs of doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual textures. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop for a closer look. 3. Check the condition. The better the condition, the higher the value. Coins that are uncirculated, shiny, and show no signs of wear are more desirable. 4. Weigh the coin. A standard clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams, while a 40% silver quarter weighs slightly more, about 5.75 grams. An incorrect weight could signal a minting error or wrong planchet. 5. Get it graded. If you think you found something special, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Having an official grade adds trust and increases market value. Where to look for bicentennial quarters if you're ready to start hunting? Here are the best places to search for valuable bicentennial quarters. Your own change jar or coin collection. Coin rolls from the bank, garage sales, and estate sales. Old coin sets from family members, flea markets, or thrift stores. You'd be amazed how often people overlook these coins because they assume they're worthless. But now, you know better. Final test. The 1776 to 1976 bicentennial quarter is more than just a piece of American history. It's a potential gold mine. While most are only worth face value, a few special versions have become legends in the coin world. One of them even sold for a jaw-dropping $1.9 million, proving that even the most common-looking coin can hold life-changing value. The next time you go through your change or sort through old coins, take a closer look. You never know, that shiny quarter with the drummer boy on the back might be your ticket to a fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more rare coin discoveries, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Let us know in the comments if you found a bicentennial quarter or if you have any rare coins you'd like us to cover next. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your next coin be worth $1 million. Let me know if you'd like visuals to go with this, a voiceover guide, or tips for your thumbnail and title optimization. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden gems in your pocket change. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the Washington quarter, and more specifically, a coin that's been turning heads lately, the 1984 Washington quarter dollar. Believe it or not, one of these coins has reportedly sold for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. That's right, a regular-looking quarter that could be sitting in your drawer right now might just be worth a small fortune. How is that even possible? What makes this 1984 quarter so special? Stick around because we're going to unpack the coin's history, the minting process, known errors, and the specific features that make one of these coins worth more than a Lamborghini. Let's get started. History of the Washington quarter. First, let's talk a bit about the Washington quarter itself. The series began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. It was originally intended to be a one-year commemorative coin, but it was so well received that it became a permanent fixture in U.S. currency. For decades, it featured the classic design by John Flanagan, a left-facing profile of George Washington on the obverse, and a majestic eagle perched on a bundle of arrows on the reverse. BY 1984. The Washington quarter had been in circulation for over 50 years, and the design hadn't changed much. But just because it looks ordinary doesn't mean it is. Some years, and some mint marks, can hide extremely rare variations and errors that collectors are constantly searching for. But what does the D mint mark mean? Let's zoom in on the 1984 D quarter. That little D below Washington's ponytail stands for the Denver Mint, which is one of the U.S. Mint's production facilities. In 1984, the Denver Mint produced over 546 million quarters. That's right, over 500 million of them. So on the surface, the 1984 D doesn't seem rare at all. But here's the thing. When you're talking about coins, it's not just about how many were made. It's about how many survived in pristine condition and how many were struck with errors that make them unique. And that brings us to the million-dollar mystery, the $1.40 million. So where does this $1.4 million value come from? Well, coin collecting is all about rarity, demand, and condition. In the case of the 1984 D quarter, there's a particular specimen that reportedly sold for $1.4 million due to a combination of factors. Though extremely rare, this coin was in flawless condition, graded MS 68 or higher, meaning mint state, with virtually no imperfections even under magnification. But the real kicker? This coin also featured a dramatic minting error, possibly a double die obverse or a significant off-center strike that occurred during production. When rare condition meets rare error, you get the kind of numismatic unicorn that collectors go crazy for. Think about it. Of the hundreds of millions of 1984 D quarters produced, only a tiny handful may have left the mint with these kinds of dramatic flaws. And of those, how many were actually kept safe, never spent, and preserved well enough to be graded near perfect 40 years later? That's what makes a coin like this so valuable. Known errors to look for. So what should you look for if you're going through your pocket change or coin rolls? Let's talk about some errors known to appear in the 1984 D quarters, double die obverse. DDO. This is when the design elements on the front of the coin are duplicated due to a misalignment during the die creation. You might see doubled lettering in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. Off-center strikes. These are coins that were not struck squarely, leaving part of the design missing and creating a crescent shape of blank planchet. The more dramatic the off-center, especially with a visible date, the more valuable the coin can be. Clipped planchets. This error happens when a coin blank was improperly cut from the metal sheet, resulting in a curved clip or missing edge, die cracks and cuts. These imperfections occur when the die itself starts to break down, leaving raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin. While these are more minor errors, certain patterns or large cuts can add value. How to check if your coin is thinly. Here's what you should do if you think you have a valuable 1984 D quarter. 1. Look closely at the coin under good lighting. A magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe is your best friend here. Point 2. Check for doubling on the obverse, especially in the lettering and date. Point 3. Inspect the edges and surfaces for any signs of off-center strikes, clips, or raised metal blobs. Point 4. Check the condition. Coins with full, sharp details and no scratches or wear are worth significantly more. Point 5. Consider grading. If your coin looks especially pristine or has a noticeable error, consider sending it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. A professional grade can skyrocket your coin's value. Other 1984 D coins worth even if your 1984 D quarter doesn't have a $1.4 million error, don't toss it just yet. There are coins from that year selling for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the grade. For example, a high-grade 1984 D quarter without errors but in MS 67 or MS 68 condition can still fetch several $100s at auction. And if you find one with an error, even a minor one, it could be worth even more. Final thing. So, the next time you get change at the store or find a jar of old coins at grandma's house, take a closer look. That 1984 D Washington quarter might not just be worth 25 cents. It could be worth a life-changing amount of money. Coin collecting is one part treasure hunt, one part history lesson, and a whole lot of fun. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, keep your eyes open. Because you never know, the next $1,000,000 coin might be right in your pocket. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more hidden coin treasures, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a valuable coin in your change. Until next time, happy hunting. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version, voiceover tips, or a thumbnail/title idea for your video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden treasures lying in your pocket change. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that looks totally ordinary, something you might have spent at a vending machine without a second thought, the 1988 D Washington quarter. But what if I told you that one of these coins, a regular-looking 1988 D quarter, reportedly sold for $1.5 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, stay with me, because we're going to break down the history, the minting process, the rare errors, and exactly what to look for that could turn a 25-cent coin into a literal fortune. Let's dive right into the history of the Washington quarter. Before we get into the specifics of the 1988 D quarter, let's take a step back. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932, created to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin features a strong profile of George Washington on the front, and from 1932 through 1998, the reverse side showed an eagle with spread wings, a symbol of American strength and heritage. Through the decades, this coin became a staple of American currency. It's probably the most recognized U.S. coin in the world. But just because it's common doesn't mean every version of it is the same. Every year and every mint can have unique features. That's exactly the case with the 1988 D quarter. What does the D stand for? If you look under the date on the front of the quarter, you'll see a small letter, in this case, a D. That stands for the Denver Mint, one of the major U.S. mint locations responsible for producing millions of coins every year. In 1988, the Denver Mint struck approximately 596 million quarters. That's a huge number. So you might be wondering, How can a coin that was minted in the hundreds of millions be rare or valuable? Well, that's where things get interesting. Because while most coins came out of the mint looking just like they should, a few slipped through the cracks. And those few have the power to make you rich at the $1.50 million sign. So, what's the deal with this $1.5 million quarter? According to multiple reports in the numismatic community, a single 1988 D. Washington quarter sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. The reason? It was one of a kind. This coin combined flawless condition with a dramatic and highly unusual mint error, making it one of the rarest examples ever seen. That we're talking about a coin that not only came out of the mint in perfect, uncirculated condition, what collectors call mint state, likely graded MS, 68 or higher, but also one that had a major die error that makes it completely unique. When rarity meets condition, you get explosive value. That's what makes collectors and investors open their wallets for coins like this, the rare mint errors that make these coins valuable. Now, let's talk about the kinds of errors and features you should look for in your 1988 D quarters. These are the things that could turn your everyday pocket change into something worth thousands or even millions of dollars. Double die errors. This happens when the die that strikes the coin has been engraved twice slightly out of alignment. You'll notice doubled letters, especially in the words Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date. Double die errors are highly sought after by collectors. Off-center strike. Say, coin that's not perfectly centered during the striking process results in an off-center strike. If a quarter is missing part of its design but still shows the date, it becomes significantly more valuable. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher the value. Wrong planchet errors. Sometimes a quarter gets struck on the wrong blank, like one mint for a nickel or foreign coin. These are extremely rare and can fetch thousands of dollars due to the unique size, weight, and appearance of the coin. Clip planchets. This is when the blank metal disc, the planchet, is improperly cut, resulting in part of the coin being missing. If you find a coin with a curved clip or an incomplete edge, it might be worth serious money. Die cracks and cuds. Die cracks appear as raised lines on the surface of the coin, caused by a worn or broken die. A cud is a raised blob of metal on the edge of the coin where part of the die broke off. Larger, more dramatic cuds are very collectible. Missing mint mark. In extremely rare cases, a coin mint to have a mint mark comes out of the mint without one. A 1988 D quarter with no D under the date would be incredibly rare, and if verified, it could skyrocket in value. High-grade coins without errors. Even if your 1988 D quarter doesn't have an error, it could still be valuable. If it's in perfect condition, most coins in circulation show signs of wear. But if you happen to find a 1988 D quarter that looks brand new, no scratches, no smudges, perfect shine, it might be a candidate for professional grading. Coins graded MS, 67, MS, 68, or higher can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, even with no errors at all. How to tell if your coin is so? Here's a simple step-by-step guide to see if your 1988 D quarter is worth anything more than 25 cents. Point 1. Check the overall condition. Does the coin look brand new? No scratches? No wear? That's a good start. Point 2. Look for doubling. Check the lettering and the date. Any doubling? That could be a double die error. Point 3. Check for odd shapes or clips. If the coin isn't perfectly round or has an edge cut off, that could be a clipped planchet. Point 4. Feel the edges. If the coin feels off or thinner than usual, it could have been struck on the wrong planchet. Point 5. Weigh the coin. A standard quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If your coin is lighter or heavier, that's a big clue something unusual happened at the mint. Point 6. Use a magnifier. A jeweler's loupe or digital microscope can help you spot tiny details that are easy to miss with the naked eye. Point 7. Get it graded. If you think you've got something special, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll certify the grade and condition, which helps you prove the coin's value to other 1988 D coins worth. Even if you don't find the $1,000,000 version, there are still 1988 D quarters out there selling for hundreds or thousands of dollars. A high-grade MS, 67 or MS, 68 quarter with a minor error can bring in serious cash. Some off-center strike examples have sold for over $3,000. Others with visible cuds or strong double dies have reached similar numbers. Final THS. So there you have it, the 1988 D Washington quarter. It might seem like a normal coin, but in rare cases, it can be worth as much as $1.5 million. And there are still thousands of these quarters out there, hiding in old jars, forgotten collections, or even in your loose change. The key is to look closely, stay curious, and know what to look for. Because the next time you get a quarter back from a cashier, it might not be just 25 cents. It might be your ticket to a small fortune that if you enjoyed this video and want more hidden coin values, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out. And let me know in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin? Or do you think you might have one? I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy coin hunting. Would you like a follow-up script for another coin, or help with turning this into a video with visuals and editing suggestions? Welcome back to the channel, where we talk all things coins, cash, and hidden treasures you might already own. Today's video is about a Washington quarter that might be sitting in your change jar or wallet right now, the 1990 P quarter. You might think it's just another 25-cent coin, but think again. One of these coins has reportedly sold for an unbelievable $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.25 worth of metal turned into over $1 million. So what makes this quarter so special? What should you be looking for? And could you be holding a fortune without even knowing it? Stick with me, because we're diving deep into the history, features, and hidden secrets of the 1990 P Washington quarter. Let's get started. A quick history of the Washington quarter. The Washington quarter has been a part of American currency since 1932. It was originally designed to commemorate the 200th birthday of our first president, George Washington. John Flanagan design featured a left-facing portrait of Washington on the obverse side and a majestic eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. Over the decades, the design stayed consistent up until the state quarters program began in 1999. But before that, every year had small differences, some intentional, some accidental. And that's where the 1990 P quarter comes in. What does the P stand for? The P, mint mark under the date on the coin, stands for the Philadelphia Mint. In 1990, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 613 million Washington quarters. That's right, over 500 million coins. At first glance, that would make you think there's nothing special about the 1990 P. But the truth is, that massive production number actually helps hide the rare gems even better. Because when billions of coins are made, only a few with unique features slip through. And that's what makes them incredibly valuable to collectors. At the $1.30 millions. And so, how can a coin that millions of people use to buy gum or parking turn into a coin worth over $1 million? That's where condition, rarity, and mint errors come in. Point 1. 1990 P Washington quarter reportedly sold for a staggering $1.3 million. Why? Because it was a perfect storm of rare features. This coin was not only in mint state condition, but it also contained an extremely rare and dramatic mint error that made it one of a kind. Collectors call these coins numismatic unicorns. They're the coins that combine all the things that drive value: rarity, error, condition, and demand. Possible mint errors that aid a year are some of the key types of errors and features you should be looking for on a 1990 P quarter. Any one of these could increase your coin's value dramatically, and in some cases, they can push the price into six figures or even more. Double die obverse. Look closely at the words, "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." If the letters appear to have shadows or doubling, you may have a double die error. These are caused by misalignments when the coin dies are created and are highly sought after. Off-center strike. If the design of your quarter is not centered properly, especially if the date is still visible on the coin, that could be an extremely rare and valuable off-center strike. Clipped planchet. This happens when part of the coin is missing due to a miscut during production. A curved chunk may be gone from the edge, which turns a common coin into something worth hundreds or thousands. Die breaks and cuts. Raised lines or blobs on the coin's surface could be signs of a die crack or cut. While not always worth a fortune, unique or large cuts can add significant value. Missing mint mark. Now, this is extremely rare for a 1990 P, but some coins over the years have left the mint without a mint mark at all. If you ever find a 1990 quarter with no P or any letter beneath the date, get it professionally checked immediately. Wrong planchet. One of the rarest errors is when a quarter is mistakenly struck on a coin blank mint for another denomination, like a nickel or even a foreign coin. This creates a coin with the wrong weight and color and can be worth thousands. Grading MRS. If you find a coin that looks unusual, or even one that looks perfect and shiny like it's never been used, you need to have it graded. Grading companies like PCGS and NGC are trusted in the numismatic world, and they can officially certify the condition of your coin. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. Anything above 65 is considered very high grade. A 1990 P quarter graded at MS 68 or higher is extremely rare. If it also features an error, then you're in big money territory. The $1 million coin? Experts believe it was either graded MS 69 or MS 70 and featured an ultra-rare minting anomaly, which is basically unheard of for coins from this year. How to Check your miss. So how do you start? It's easier than you think. Grab a magnifying glass or coin loop. Good lighting helps. 2. Start by looking at the date and mint mark. Then check the lettering and details of the coin for doubling, cracks, or any unusual features. Feel the edges. A miscut planchet might feel uneven or thinner on one side. Compare it with a known regular 1990 P quarter. Even subtle differences can mean major value. Weigh the coin on a digital scale. A regular Washington quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If it's off by much, that could be another clue. If you find something suspicious or interesting, get a second opinion. Local coin shops, collectors' forums, and coin grading companies can help you determine if what you have is the real deal. Other valuable 1990 P coins. Even if you don't have the $1,000,000 version, you might still have a winner. High-grade 1990 P quarters without any errors but in near-perfect condition have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars at auctions. These are usually coins that were never circulated and were kept in mint sets or collector albums. Point 1 1990 P quarter graded MS 67 recently sold for over $2,000. Another with a small off-center strike sold for $3,000. So yes, even small things can add up to big value. Final THTS. So there you have it, the 1990 P Washington quarter. It may look like an ordinary coin, but in rare cases, it can be worth as much as $1.3 million. Whether it's a dramatic error, a flawless strike, or a combination of both, these hidden treasures are out there. The best part, you don't need to be a professional collector or have expensive equipment to find them. You just need a sharp eye, a little bit of patience, and the curiosity to look through your change. So the next time you get a quarterback at the gas station, don't just toss it in your cup holder. Take a look. That tiny coin might just change your life. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more hidden coin values, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you have questions about a coin you're curious about. I'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching. And as always, happy hunting. Let me know if you'd like help turning this into a video with visuals, suggested thumbnail text, or narration tips.